I'm Erik the Travel Guy. Fantastic experiences await you beyond your backyard. So join me for the next 30 minutes as we explore the Bahamas.
My name is Erik Hastings. Yeah, that's me. And for as long as I can remember, I've always loved to travel. And I still do today. Airlines, hotels, cruises, new places, delicious food, I love all of it. And that's why I've been traveling the world professionally for more than a decade. But what troubles me these days is that Americans are leaving paid vacation time on the table each year at an alarming rate. Well, I want to help fix that. So please consider this a personal invitation to join me each week on my mission to get you traveling more than ever before. Because while the world is a pretty big place to explore, your next vacation is waiting to be discovered not just around the globe, but perhaps just around the corner. Let me introduce you to the places, people, and secrets I've discovered that remind me just how exciting it is to be alive, and hopefully will inspire you to get out of the house and into your next great adventure. I am Erik the Travel Guy, and this is Beyond Your Backyard.
Thank you for watching and welcome to what some consider paradise. Now don't be jealous. Just because we're wearing shorts doesn't mean we aren't going to get down to business of showing you selected sites in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This will include, of course, the capital of Nassau and the charming town of Freeport. We will introduce you to dolphins on this episode. We will drink local rum here. We will also learn more about this sunny destination. On the menu, we'll sample mouth-watering conch fritters and show you step-by-step how to make one of my favorite dishes, mojito chicken. Let's get started. Let me just take this. By looking at our handy map, the Bahamas are closer to the state of Florida than you may have remembered. The Bahamas is an archipelago, and it's comprised of about 2,000 islands, if you include the Cays. And while the islands are officially located in the Atlantic Ocean and not the Caribbean Sea, you'll soon feel the warmth of the tropical breezes surrounded by warm, almost crystal clear blue water. Freeport, which is where we're headed to a little bit later, is located here on Grand Bahama. But we're starting our journey in the capital of Nassau, which you'll find right here. And it's also the largest urban area of the Bahamas. One of the Bahamas' most traveled to and probably most known areas is the city of Nassau. Originally colonized in 1650, Nassau's historic journey of development and eventual prosperity is one that's certainly interesting and filled with twists and turns along the way. Nassau is a major hub of activity and has a vibrant energy to it that highlights some of the island's many charms. If you're arriving by air, your adventure starts at the PINDLIng International Airport. It's the largest international gateway into the Bahamas and a hub for Bahamas Air, and most major U.S. carriers have daily direct flights. If this is a stop on your cruise itinerary, then you'll be arriving right downtown in the heart of the action. You may be surprised to learn that more than 1,000 cruise ships arrived in Nassau in 2017. Carnival ships had the most number of arrivals. So for a bit more of what you can expect on board one of these exciting ocean liner masterpieces, I was lucky enough to speak with the captain of the Carnival Pride. You view this ship a little different than the rest of us view it. How do you see this ship?
My top priority is the safety of the ship and its contents, meaning crew and guests.
Got it.
I'm on demand for the rest, so I don't spend much time on the bridge. I don't drive the boat.
Right.
I park it.
Got it. You do the parking. Oh, who knew?
Yeah, and we have navigators to follow the plan, and if they need me, they call me. Or whenever there is a fog, something
Out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
How long have you been at sea?
My very first time was 1974. 43, in June is going to be 44.
Mm-hmm. Is it still fun to you?
It is. You choose to do this life, so you always find something fun to do. And we are on the fun ships after all.
Of course.
So,
yes.
Especially dealing with the different people every week, you always find something interesting to do.
If, you know, for instance, if they put me in charge of driving the boat, this would be a big problem. This, I'll tell you right now, this I guarantee it. But for you, every day, what do you face that you still find interesting and challenging?
Weather is a major, concern. The seas can be rough, the wind can be strong, and one of the major things that affect all ships, not only this ship, is wind. because we have a very large sail area, so it affects the navigation, the comfort. This is a comfort boat.
Well, right, because much like, I would think that much like airplanes can fly through turbulence, so they don't worry about the wings falling off.
No,
it's
we
more
don't.
about, it's the passengers.
Exactly.
That's
so
who
they
has-
change altitude, we change course.
Right.
So that's basically the same concept, safety but also comfort.
Got it. Any advice you would give to a first-time cruiser, maybe that's never been on board a ship ever?
The ship is quite large.
Yep.
And it's not the largest one, but you have some larger ones, but still it's confined. You have on this ship 3,500 people. So it could be confined if you're not comfortable with that.
Yep.
And being in the middle of the ocean. Try to do slowly. Try to do like a shorter cruise maybe, like 3 and 4 days.
That's a good idea.
Carnival does it.
Sure.
So you can do like 3 days and see how you feel. And then if you like it, if you're comfortable, then you can extend it to like 5 days, 7 days or more.
Got it. Any chance I can drive the boat for like 10 minutes?
No.
Captain, thank you for this. I
Thank
really
you very
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you for having us on board.
Thank you. You're welcome.
After the captain and I parted ways, I started my exploration downtown. The beat of Nassau's energy is found in the music. Junkanoo is native to the Bahamas, so I figured we'd learn more about it by visiting with Dyson Knight from the popular musical group, the Baha Men.
Thank you for letting us come and hang out. It's a gorgeous day out here. And someone told me that when it comes to Junkanoo music, you are an expert.
Well, I don't want to brag, but I am the Bahamian Artist of the Year, so...
Got it. So
yes,
I
do
think
know
that
a thing or two.
it qualifies you to speak on behalf of this genre of music. I love it. So you're in Baha Men. How long have you been in this group?
I've been in this group since 2004, and they were planning a tour in Asia, and they needed someone to stand in, and they really liked the way that I performed, so
Got it.
I got a call.
And
The rest is
answer
right
the
now.
call. That's right. You know, they say, you know, being in the game, you have to be around long enough to get those calls.
Exactly.
How do you define this genre?
Well, for me, music is all about feeling. It's all about vibe. Our Junkanoo music is our celebration music. Now, you can date it back to Africa and, you know, the tribal drums, but you have to know something about drum work. And there are different rhythms for different expressions, for different emotions. Junkanoo is celebration. So that is what we pulled from Africa and what we use, especially at the end of the year when we celebrate Boxing Day, and then at the beginning of the New Year when we have New Year's. Those are two giant parades with the Junkanoo bands. And Junkanoo bands can consist from 50 members to 300, 400, 500 members.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that many.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What's everybody doing? If let's just say we get 248 of our closest friends together, what do we do with?
248, well, I'll put 40 of those on drums.
Okay.
You know, I'll put probably 30 and some cowbells, some other instruments. They have a new instrument just into Junkanoo that they call kunkalakas, which is pretty much a percussive setup with the cowbells, and they play them with sticks. The main ingredient for Junkanoo is the goat skin drum.
Really?
And it is a drum made of goat skin. Well, we don't use goat skin anymore.
Right.
But they play the goat skin as the core of the driving force of the rhythm. The bass beat, they have Junkanoo drums that play on the bass beat, but that goat skin drum really adds the vibe and adds the flavor and adds the swing.
How old is this music?
It dates back to times of slavery, when slavery existed here in the Bahamas as well. So it is as old as the Bahamas is.
Got it. And Junkanoo is associated directly with the Bahamas and kind of spreads out, or?
We claim it, we own it, we perfected it, and I think we are the most advanced at Junkanoo music. We look at it as a direct picture of who we are. It's our identity. Junkanoo music is. There's other forms of Bahamian music. There's rake and scrape, there's goombay, but Junkanoo does something, the camaraderie of it, it really is the one thing that I think holds the country together every time.
If I use the word emotive, what is someone going to feel when they hear it? And is it specific?
Well, we've had many people. We have Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, you have Earth, Wind and Fire, KC and the Sunshine Band. I don't know if you know this, but they were actually first called KC and the Junkanoo Band.
I had no idea.
So what happens when you hear Junkanoo music is that you get so inspired by it, it becomes a part of who you are.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I think that, what a wonderful little piece of trivia today. That's so cool. When we go to other parts of the region, What else are we going to hear Junkanoo, or are we going to hear versions of it?
Definitely. I mean, especially if you have a hand with our tourism department. You know, shout out to Ministry of Tourism. They're doing wonderful.
They are?
With promoting the country. And they take Junkanoo everywhere they go. Some form or fashion of it is everywhere. So whenever you're introduced to another island, like if you go over to the Exumas or if you go way south into Inagua, there'll be someone there who can give you a little bit of Junkanoo music.
Is it safe to say that Junkanoo music is so closely tied to the history and the culture that it is synonymous with the Bahamas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We just started a carnival, and it was at first just called Bahamas Carnival. And the pressure from the community was so strong from everyone in the country that the Prime Minister at the time was actually forced to say, okay, we're gonna call it Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival. And then everyone was like, okay, yeah.
Okay, we can do that. Everybody can get behind that. Is it difficult to find live music in the Bahamas these days?
Yes.
And why is that?
The music that is actually being created, produced at this time, is being produced without the use of a band. You know, everything is digital. So you can blame the digital sound on the reason why bands aren't playing as much. And then the price. You know, it's costly to have a band. The Bahaman is 9 members. I sing with another band called Visage, and that's 12 members.
Oh my gosh.
So you can imagine 5 of those guys around.
So someone who's watching this, you say, I want to hear this music, I want to come to the Bahamas, where should they go?
You can come to the Bahamas at basically any time of year and get a little bit of Junkanoo music. But if you want a lot, you would come on Boxing Day, which is December 26th, and then on New Year's. They have the Junkanoo practice parades that takes place on our key, and that's always something interesting to experience as well. We also have Junkanoo Summer that happens in June. So yeah, we love the Junkanoo. You are going to get it when you arrive.
As Dyson and I finished up our conversation with a short stroll, we parted ways and I walked downtown and noted the duty-free shopping, restaurants, bars, and a distinct architecture.
Parliament Square, in particular, is the perfect place to take a respite from the midday sun. And what I mean by that is you can actually witness a Parliament session when they're in session. Yes, the lawmakers still don the white wigs, and it's an ideal place to learn more about how their government functions.
For me, the history of a place always paints the colors of the present, and by going a little back in time, we can enrich our understanding of a people and a time that we may otherwise never know about. That's where a very unique staircase comes into play.
Built in 1793, the Queen's Staircase, or the 66 Steps as they're more commonly known, serve as a window to the past and to the story of how slaves originally built them as a direct route between Fort Fincastle and Nassau City.
Get a little cardio in as you trek to the top and appreciate the efforts and labors that went into building them in the first place. Awaiting at the top are some of the best views of the island and tours around the fort. If forts are your thing, then check out Fort Montague and a crowd favorite, Fort Charlotte, on the west side of downtown. And while we're on the subject,
no matter where you travel outside of your hometown, you are a tourist. The question is, how many other tourists do you want to travel with? Well, peak season here in the Caribbean, of course, is winter, and the wettest months are in the summer.
Whether it's raining or you just need a break from the heat, while you're in downtown, stop into the Bahamas Historical Society or the Heritage Museum. And a visit to the Pirate Museum is a must. Harkening back to the golden age of piracy, Nassau was at the very heart of it all. The museum does an excellent job of educating visitors of the power struggles between Nassau and its many assumed leaders over the years, and how they eventually broke free from the Pirate Republic and forged a new path to the future. Sure, it's a little campy, but kids of all ages love pirates, so why not? Arr.
As you carve your way through the Bahamas, here in Nassau specifically, you are bound to work up an appetite. Well, one of the recommendations I love to make is a little off the beaten path, but it's worth it. It's called Potter's Cay. And yes, you have to get the conch salad and the conch fritters.
This newly reconstructed boardwalk is nestled under the bridge that connects Nassau to Paradise Island. So you need to be a bit in the know to discover it, or it could be easily overlooked.
Conch is as versatile as it is delicious, and it's readily available here in the Bahamas. So I say conch fritters, conch salad, conch yourself out. What? I thought it was funny.
I liked it. No. Okay.
While we're on the subject of food, we stepped on board the Carnival Pride to learn how to make an island favorite mojito chicken. The chef and crew of Carnival Pride were awesome. We learned that this dish was easy to make with the right preparation using fresh ingredients. And the end result packed a subtle yet memorable flavor.
Incredible.
After, we took a tour of the ship, and I had just enough time to sample an amazing burger from Guy's Burger Joint, where I wasn't at a loss for describing my enthusiasm.
That is off the hook. That is money. Now that's on point. Woo! Winner, chicken dinner. Have some of my chicken.
Working off that delicious and flavorful lunch was easy by visiting a few of Nassau's beaches. One in particular is Cabbage Beach on Paradise Island. A short taxi ride will bring you to some of the most spectacular blue waters on the planet. Close by, you may want to spend a few hours, the day, the night, or your entire vacation at Atlantis. A word I use to describe this amazing resort is wow. Just wow. Our Bahamas journey continued as we made our way to the charming enclave of Freeport, where we met our local guide and one of the sweetest people I've ever met, Miss Patty.
Welcome to Grand Bahamas, Freeport.
How are we going to do it? How are we going to see the most? These are private tours, right?
You can have the whole day, you could have all night, you could have days, a week, whatever you want, I will do that. Once they have the time, I can take them and show them Grand Bahama and Freeport through my eyes, because there's so much to see. Apart from the sun and the sand and the beaches, there's hidden treasures in the forest, the birds, the lizards, the wetlands. I introduce you to the culture, I take you to native restaurants, and I just show you Grand Bahama.
There's nothing wrong with getting on a group tour. Someone is watching, maybe they haven't done that before. We say absolutely, get on the bus. You'll have a great guide. You'll be with maybe 30 or 40 of your friends, and you will have an experience that's unique to you and that particular. However, if you've done that before, a private tour is something different because it's customized.
Absolutely. What I will personally do is take you to those places that you want to see. Once I've sat down and spoken with you, I design your tour for you. Not only take you on a tour, but I also take you to my home. I cook for you. I'll cook for you on the beach. I put you in a Boston whaler and take you and show you the keys, the outlying keys.
You've actually grown up with families. They come here once, they come back with you time and time again.
Today, 7,000 clients in my database. Yes, I do, and I am in constant contact with them.
And
they return.
And then after we come and visit, then we can just buy a home.
Absolutely.
You'll take care of that too?
I have a few. Would you like to see them right now, honey bunch? Baby boy, I can
Here
show
we
you
go.
the most.
Thank you, Miss Patty.
Thank you,
We need
too.
a picture. Thank you, guys. I might move
Bye-bye.
here.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
I was eager to start exploring, so Miss Patty said we have to spend some time at Lucayan National Park. This stunning 40-acre park is best known for its incredible underwater caves, and it's one of the few places that actually allows visitors to tour them. I'm really glad we made time for it in our schedule.
A premier nature experience awaits you, and I assure you it will lower your blood pressure and increase your happiness. It's Freeport's Garden of the Groves.
Much more than just a few plants and paths, these spectacular botanical gardens boast nature trail tours, cascading waterfalls, indigenous bird watching opportunities, sparkling fountains, sacred labyrinth meditations, and so much more. Mother Nature is in full effect, and both body and soul benefit from this type of experience.
Everything here is so incredibly peaceful. Where are we right now?
You're right now at the Garden of the Groves in the heart of Freeport.
Got it.
And Freeport is just a small city in Grand Bahama, operated by the Grand Bahama Port Authority. So where we are now is 12 acres of botanical gardens, all filled with birds and waterfalls and nature. But it is man-made, but that doesn't take it away from the beauty.
Of course, are people surprised at how peaceful it is?
They are very surprised, and because it's so filled with color, and lots of people are away where there's snow, they are really enjoying the colorful view of the garden when they're here.
You know, there's a lot of greenery here. You just have to go and find it. It may not be right in front of you, but it's around, right?
Yes, it is around, and we have flowers that are what we call all year round, and so you can always find color when you are at the garden or just in the Bahamas per se.
Now, a little birdie told me that the Pirates of the Caribbean movie shot down here close by. Where are we going to go to see that? Because they chose a spectacular location.
They did, and if you have seen the beaches in Bahamas, they are spectacular.
And how long would you recommend we take in this flora and fauna? How long?
Well, if you're at the garden, you want to be here at least an hour to an hour and a half. We do have guided tours, so sometimes the people would like to do the guided tour and find information about the building up of Freeport, which makes it quite a more interesting activity. And then they go around to eat or to shop, and so an hour to 2 hours at the garden is good, but some people stay all day. Yes.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you. My pleasure. Too.
Ocean enthusiasts, get ready, because Freeport is a very popular destination for water activities, including swimming with dolphins. So I met up with Roscoe Dickinson to learn exactly what to do in the water.
How do you describe the water to someone that's never been down here before?
Well, I like to say and proudly say that we have probably some of the best and most beautiful water in the world.
Yeah.
Shallow beaches. You can go 100 feet sometimes and actually see the bottom on a nice visibility. Crystal clear.
It's crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
So what are we going to do on the water? What would you recommend? Say, okay, even for a beginner and a first timer and a novice, help us out a little bit.
Well, of course, I'm going to start with dolphin experience because we have dolphins.
That's where we are. That's exactly
you're here
right.
right now, and of course, dolphins is a great way to start your vacation. You will get a chance to interact with them. We do open ocean work here as well. Yep, we actually have some of the dolphins here trained to follow our boats, and we go out. You can do a swim in the open ocean. If you're certified and diving is beautiful here in the Bahamas, you can dive with dolphins as well. If you're not certified and you're looking for other stuff to do, we have great beaches. We have other islands in the Bahamas, Exuma, great beaches for great snorkeling. You have Abaco for some great fishing. Of course, Grand Bahama, again, we do fishing charters. There's deep sea fishing here as well.
There are a few big areas that we want to hang out.
There's a few major islands, and there's a lot of, like I said, smaller islands and keys.
But really, we're not far from Florida as we stand here today.
No, we're about 35 miles off of West Palm Beach, so it's actually very, very close. It's a 15, 20-minute flight to get to Freeport, so it's easy to get to. We have some of the ferry boats, a 3-hour boat ride. You can get here. Yeah.
So what are we going to do on the water? What would you recommend? Say, okay, even for a beginner and a first timer and a novice, help us out a little bit.
Well, of course, I'm going to start with dolphin experience.
You have an experience. What do we call that?
The dolphin close encounter, where you can actually stand on a platform, which is about waist high, and you get a chance to meet a dolphin up close and personal.
Yeah.
You get a chance to pet them. The trainers here will give you a lot of educational information about the animals, correct some of the myths, and to end it off, you get a chance to get a kiss from one of the dolphins. If you go to another place that you see at a distance, you actually be right up close and personal with the dolphins here.
Let's talk about jet skiing. I certainly love the parasailing, all of that. Where should we be doing that?
Grand Bahama. Almost anywhere in the Bahamas right now. I mean, beautiful waters, jet skis especially, parasailing. You can just get out there. And it's just there. It's year-round, 70 to maybe 80 degrees temperature.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first-time visitor coming down to the Bahamas. What duration? How long should they stay? 4 or 5 nights to get sort of a good feel?
Anywhere from 3 to 5 nights are going to give you a taste of it. And then, obviously B&Bs are becoming very, very popular. This is a great place to be during the winter.
So even if you're arriving on a cruise ship, it's okay. You will get that, at least a taste of the experience.
You'll get a taste of the experience. It's a good starting point if you ever wanted to come back and visit, so you know where to go and sometimes where you want to spend a little bit longer and where you might not want to spend as long.
And it happens all the time. People come down on a ship, and what happens?
They fall in love. Oh, yes. It's that first experience, especially when you dock and as you're coming in and you get this beautiful weather here on a nice February morning, and it just doesn't get much better in the Bahamas.
As the sun began to set on my time with the dolphins and Roscoe, it occurred to me that we hadn't mentioned beaches here in Freeport. So here's a tip. Golden Rock Beach at sunset and Fortune Beach are 2 of the top-rated favorites, but you really can't go wrong anywhere else. And combining the beach with delicious food I've got one more spot for you to investigate.
When it comes to culinary, we get asked this question a lot, so today we'll help you with where do the locals go? You know, you got to step a little bit off the beaten path, and this is a perfect spot. This is in Freeport. This is at Smith's Point, Tano Beach, and this is the Outrigger Beach Club. And right behind me, this is where you'll find the best fish fry every Wednesday night. They've been doing it for more than 30 years. Whether you're a history buff, just in it for the guava duff, or can't get sun enough, when it comes to paradise, Bahamas has plenty of it to choose from. I'm Erik the Travel Guy. Thank you for exploring beyond your backyard.
Snap.
Mwah. Sorry, kids. We just steal all over the script.
Oh my God, Erik the Travel Guy, I totally log into this public broadcasting system.
Yeah, we
Kids
support
live by
it.
that.
Now we're talking.
I also support that.
I love the fans. They're the best. What's your name?
Sabrina.
All right, Sabrina. This is going to
Erik,
work
hey,
out.
pleasure.
Good to
Pleasure.
meet you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you very
too.
much.
Hey, congrats
sweet.
on your travel show.
Thanks, Sabrina. Love her.